morning, Sunday morning. Just having a quick wander around with the dog. Just show a few changes in the yard. There was a big pile of chitin crates there, and a big pile of stone there, and quite a lot of machinery and junk in there, quite a lot of machinery and junk beyond where that sprayer's parked. So we've had a bit of a tidy up. We'll go out to the side of the yard in a minute and you'll see where the sale's happening. We're parting with a bit of surplus treasure in order to pay for putting a shed up just here. That's wheat straw. Getting through it now. The shed is full of barley straw. That's mostly for sale. Much more demand for wheat this year for some reason. That's a bit of treasure to keep. And this area here from about there to about there is 120 feet. 10-foot gap between the sheds for maintenance and to be able to put the thing up. 60 foot wide, 120 long. It's a second-hand shed we took down 2 years ago. At the time we got put back up because we're always short of shed space. And, this is a saying goes, however big a shed you build a bigger one because you'll need it. In a couple of years it'll be half the size it needs to be, and I don't have any doubt that that'll be the truth this time. But, this stone is from broken concrete that we renewed between the pig sheds 3 years ago, I think, that we crushed, and it's made some decent hardcore because there's always things that need to be parked outside for whatever reason, be it short of shed space or whatever. And this gives us a bit of a loop to drive around the sheds to make things a bit easier, because by nature we're a little bit long and narrow, so it makes that a bit easier. And we'll park a little bit of equipment along the side of here. These are scrap tatey boxes that'll become firewood in no time, I should think. A few better ones that we're keeping, and all that little lot is what's in the sale. That soil there, it's come off, it's been dug out from under my feet now. It's clean topsoil. It'll go in the same field at that far end on that headland beyond, where it's a bit low and always sits wet, so hopefully it won't sit as wet if we build it up a bit. And it's the same soil as what's up there, so we're perfectly able to do that really. These are 5-foot tatey boxes. We bought them 10-12 years ago, I think, from another farmer to give us a bit more storage in a duck shed, which they serve the purpose. We've given up with that duck shed now. Its days are over for storing potatoes in, so these have become surplus to requirements. Not wrong with them. There's a few at this end needing an odd board. There's one there a bit loose, there's one there with a board missing, but that lot are all complete. There's 130 of the better ones and 20 of those that needed a board. A few plastic chitin trays. There's 40 on a pallet, which is what they are when they're full of potatoes, and when they're packed up for transport, there's 120 on a pallet. Come here, Bella. And these chitin crates, sorry, they're pretty much what's replaced trays here. We bought these from Scotland in 2010. Went to buy the whole heap, and we did. And these are some of the rougher ones, in all fairness, that we've had since 2010 and done out with. I think we've got as many working as we need to have working for more than the foreseeable future. I don't think we'll use them, so we're parting with them. The reserve price is scrap value. They weigh about 80 kilos. Scrap's £200 a tonne. There is 70 of these, I think. So from that you can work out what the reserve price is going to be. Ton boxes, again, these are in the duck shed, surplus to requirements. They're not going to improve sitting outside. We don't need them more than about a dozen really, only for really odd jobs that we use them for these days. With some seed boxes sat in another shed. These have seen CIPC, so they're not really seed boxes ideally, but you can put logs in them or anything you like really. Old forklift weight. We did have aspirations about putting it on front of a tractor, but we've never got around to it. Old bull pens, again, just taking up space in the yard really. We're not cattle people, so we're not likely to need them. That chassis came from an old Ventacroc fan. We bought it for the engine to go in the irrigator pump, so the chassis is surplus to requirements. Old saw bench. She's nothing pretty, but it's a saw bench and log splitter in one, which is quite useful. It's basically been updated. We've got a newer one, so I don't use this one anymore. So she's surplus to requirements. It all works. It's a little bit showing its age, to be fair, in places. It needs a pit organ, as you can see, but it does a job. Come here, Bella. Bauer 102 irrigator pipes. 102 means they're the older, smaller diameter, 102mm rather than 108, which is what you would identify as 4-inch. These are 9-metre aluminium, whereas the 108s are 6-metre steel. So quite light, quite useful. There's 25 of them, coming from a farm sale locally. We use them on a job around about that time to join 2 irrigator reels together because they're the same size and they're quite convenient for that. But surplus to requirements nowadays. 750mm twin wall pipe. I bought a pair of them out of a sale to do a field gateway, and we only needed one, so that's the other. Little box section frame, looks like scrap, but we hooked that onto the front of the forklift bucket and use it as a cage. And we didn't have a man cage, but we did have some higher up jobs to do, so rather than just having an open fronted bucket, we put that on it. And it's hooked onto the brush brackets with a pin, and then that stood there just screwed into a hole in the side of the bucket so that the cage couldn't escape. So even if the bucket tipped fully, you had a chance of having something to catch you in. It did make things a lot safer, but again, seeing an upgrade. A few dead PTO shafts. Them wide angle joints are alarmingly expensive. Ones are for Tatey Harvester, ones are for baler. Surplus to requirements, both machines are no longer with us. They're a bit worn, them joints, but they're still usable. They've still got guards on them, so I'm sure they'll do a job for somebody. Mud guards we got for a 135 and decided we'd rather keep it as original as it is. And these are a slightly different design to what's on ours. They're either 135 or 165, they're only about that era. I'm not certain exactly. Bale spike frame. Long time since we've rode around bales up with a single spike, but it was sat in the museum, so it's surplus to requirements. That's armadillo roll top for a rodeo pickup. Doesn't fit a D-Max, which is why it's surplus. Drain jetter pipe. It's missing its end. Basically, we jetted a drain out under a shed floor, and it got stuck, and we had to cut the end of it off. But for wetting a pig shed or using a hose pipe, it's fine. Tub, it's either out of a rodeo or a Ford Ranger, I can't remember, but it doesn't fit either of ours, and both of ours have got one in. Discovery tray, it's a TD5 Discovery, what more can I say? Discovery wheels, we've got some, they're all steel, this pile, so they're halfway between road tyres and non-road tyres. There's a knobbly there with a steel centre, there's 4 alleys. They're all there and complete. You can see the next one down's a little bit scabby. They're not pretty. They're a bit of age about them, but they're there. A couple of push bikes. Little one, kids have grown out of. Big one, I bought as a pair out of a sale, and we've kept the other one. There's about 5 times as many Kingspan panels as that. I need to fish the rest of them out. They were used as roofs on pig shed kennels. A long time since we've been in weaners, so they're surplus to us. We don't need them anymore. 4 tyres, I can't honestly remember what these came off or what they were bought for, but they don't fit anything we've got now. There's 2 insulated shed doors there, they're 16 foot wide. They're all in working order, they're a bit worn. We got an opportunity to upgrade them with some funding, so we did it. They came off that shed there 2 years ago, so they've only been sat there 2 years. We did have an idea what we might use them for, but the situation's changed, so that's not going to happen anymore. Hey, Bells. Just a minute. Wait. Bells. Pair of 13 638 Joel wheels. Using a Ford 5.6. Tyres are showing their age a little bit. But they're there. We've got clamps for them. There's a bit of wear in tyres. It's long while since we've used them. But they're good sound rims. A couple of implement tyres. They're 560 22.5s. I don't know what they came off. I bought them as 4. We needed a pair for another project, and they're the surplus pair. Couple of tyres, the 665 38s, come off a 6480 Massey. Tread's getting down a bit. There is a little bit of a splitting one. It's not serious, it's just a little bit of a cut, sort of like that. We did repair it, but we got opportunity for a pair of better tyres, so we changed them. These came off the front of our lad's lime spreader. It's a MAN TCM 290 truck, 665 55 to 26.5 with a Continental hub. They'll fit a lot of things with that hub on. They're the rears, and there's a pair with good centres in. Decent amount of tread, I would say that's 50% plus. 2 more tyres in a similar condition, but there's a tyre and a rim. 8 super single rims, varying offset. They've got quite a bit deeper offset than they have. They'll make a stove, a planter, go back to being a wheel, whatever you want to do with them. There's 2 hubs, came off an axle we bought from an Easterby trailer that needed repair. So they fit on an ag axle with a 10 stud hub. 7.5 ton wagon wheels, a bit rough. There as they are, decent tyres but a bit rough. 3 axles that we were going to put on another bale trailer. When we scrapped the trailer, we went down a different route with that, bought a 25 foot trailer. So the second 33 isn't going to happen, I don't think. So they're the axles that are available. 2 fifth wheels and sliders. They're only there because when we used to run wagons, there's a limit to how much wear that you can pass an MOT on in the 5th wheel, and they are a little bit worn, but they're perfectly fine to go on a dolly or anything like that. They're just not MOT friendly. IBC, we needed a cage to hold some bales in a pond to just be sure that we aren't putting any nitrate in. So that's the IBC that was in it. 4 IBCs, they've had manganese in them, they've got a bit of age about them. We washed them out as best we can, so they haven't had anything noxious in them, just surplus to requirements really. And over here, see, there's quite a bit of treasure. One man's scraps, another man's treasure, I appreciate, but there's all sorts of things here that have done a job and will continue to do a job for somebody. So I'll go down the other side of the line. Wait. 3 fire doors, do a job for somebody. One's got a dinging end of it, just there, it's not too serious a ding. 3 pallets of 20 sleepers. They're 10 by 5 and around about 7 foot long, some of them are a little bit shorter. There's an odd one with a dog-eared end on it like that. There's some really good ones like that. They're a bit of a mixed bag. They came off, there were silage stamp walls with the roof over, so they aren't too rotten. I can't say that there isn't any rot, there's bound to be a little bit of a doggy end on like that, but they're good sound sleepers. Pallet stock board, this stuff's phenomenally expensive. There's quite a lot of sheets there, look, for the 6mm thinner stuff. They were fastened to the sleeper walls with pigs in, so they're surplus to requirements for us now. Before I go down that row, we've got lawnmower, 5 foot Kubota flail, good little cutter really. She's 23 years old, wire edge, 2001, hydrostatic, 4-wheel drive, linkage on the front mounted PTO driven topper. It does the job. Its safety features mostly don't work. It is 20-year-old, don't expect it to be new. It cutter's fantastic. If the oil gets hot, the lift's a bit lazy. What more can I say about it really? It's there as it is. They're an absolute fortune new, an absolute fortune. Coyote UTV, if you give it its fancy title. It's currently got a knackered steering rack, which which is a common fault on these. As ever, we set off with the cheaper one, prove the principle, and if we like it, we'll get something better. We do like that. We'll have another Coyote. I haven't bought one yet. It goes very well, it runs fine. It's currently got a flat battery, so we'll charge that up. Just put it in drive and press go and it goes. It does 40k flat out, 4-wheel drive, manual tip, decent tyres on it, lights work. It's not road registered, but the headlights work. Again, surplus to requirements. Coquelin drill, we bought this in 2014, I think. We've drilled cover crops with it. We've drilled more beans than anything else. Toolbar is a Norfolk tine on a ransom frame, and that just helps you. Those 3 tines run in front of the back drilling legs, and it does just help you break a bit of compaction and makes the drill do a better job. The drill will cope with any amount of trash you throw at it, pretty much. That cutter around the centre cuts the trash so it doesn't hang around the legs. Individual depth control, 7 of those in 3 metres. We have a few spares with it that can go with it. There's a metering wheel, a bit of wearing metal, book, control box, all that sort of stuff. Ring packer, it's fine. It doesn't really need any scrapers in it. It keeps cleaner if you don't have any scrapers, to be honest. That point's getting a bit worn. There's 2 pipes that run down the back. The one runs wide, one runs narrow. So you cover, as they sit there, about 14 inch, 7 times 14 inch with seed. So you've more ground covered than not. 2-ton hopper. If you fill the hopper up, it takes a bit of pulling. It'll drill winter beans in heavy land, 5-inch tape, no bother. And 108 horsepower will pull it. Concept power arrow. I'll be honest, I bought this out of York Sale to replace a knackered Mashio to power corners of Tatey fields and things like that. Great big gearbox on it. It's a good old thing, but it has got a rotor that's slack. I'm not sure whether nuts come slack or there's a bearing needs attention. It's not serious, but it does need a repair. PTO shafts with it, it's guarded up. You can see what size of PTO shaft that it's designed for every Joe to use. But basically, my neighbour had a Kuhn for sale that was a get going straight away machine on my doorstep. I didn't really want to turn it down, so we bought that instead. So this one's surplus. It's got end guards on it. It's had a straight tided machine. It's in good order, apart from that one rotor. If there are any questions, please ask. Wait, old beet sprayer. As you can, the eagle-eyed will see that it's missing a few nozzles down there, down the top of there. We have that pipe. We took it off for a beet drill project. It's sat in shed, just needs putting back on, but we'll see to that. Pump all works. It's a while since it's sprayed. Dad, it was the main sprayer on the farm once upon a time. Dad used to spray beet with it. It's had some replacement booms on it about 10 years or so ago. So the booms are younger than the sprayer. It's an LX 1000. As you can see by that, it goes up to 1000. But the booms came off an LX 800, so it says 800 on the back, but it's actually 1000 litres. Induction ball. It's a long time since I've used it. I'm assuming it still works, but it's untested. Sprayer hasn't got an MOT, but it pretty much all works. Flintstone bale sledge, complete with ramp. We had that behind the 1200 quadrant. We don't bale as many as we did. Again, circumstances have changed a bit over the years, so it's become surplus to requirements. Little Xenon topper, 1.5 metres. The only reason I'm selling this, and it works perfectly, works very well indeed. It's a foreign manufacturer. I can't fault the thing at all. It's a good machine. It came with the cheapest, crappiest PTO shaft you've ever seen when I bought it. So it's got an XD stone one on that's much better. That can go with it. It's 1.5 metres wide, primarily for cutting roadsides and cross compliance strips. But to cut our roadsides as wide as they are, you've got to stick a wheel up on the cam. And dropping in and out of grip holes isn't an awful lot of fun. So I'm looking for a 2.5 metre one instead of a 1.5 metre one. But not for sale through any fault of its own. Mower with a bit of a faux pas. It's a Badger set. Broke a rotor off, so it spares us repairs. It ran as sweet as a nut before. Damn shame. It's a very good mower until that happened. There's a saucer that goes with it as well that broke off the bottom of it. It was a bad day, was that. Grader. If anyone wants a video of any of this kit running, I'm quite happy to do that for you. Just let me know. The sides fold up. It's got adjustable coils, picking table, It's 6 foot wide, completely across conveyors. Quite a few motors and belts have been replaced over the years. It was sat in that duck shed where them boxes were, so it's become surplus to requirements. We haven't used it for quite a while. We bought it as an Harrison rebuild back in the 90s. It has seen a few tons. It does work absolutely fine. 5 foot oversizer. Again, when McCain contracts dictated 60% over 90s, which took a lot of smalls out, and this is what did it. But since they've gone whole crop, we haven't used it. It's got a couple of sockets on it because we used it with an oversizer. Yeah, this was the oversizer with that length grader over there, taking the long stuff out of the small diameter but good length, which to take those out to meet the spec. So it had a little elevator that bolts on here to feed on. What came through the screen went over the length grader, went off the end, went up a conveyor. So we had various things plugged into it to make everything work. That's the hopper for the Fison. The Fison has been sat in a shed. Most of this stuff's been sat in a shed, to be fair. Some of it looks like it's been outside, but most of it's been in a shed. This is still in its working clothes. It's hydraulic drive, which is quite unusual for a Fison. Great big single phase motor, hydraulic driven belt, which drives from the top. We can see at that far end. It's hydraulic drive, whereas most of them have a motor down on this side somewhere. This one drives from the top, so it'll pull a hell of a lot more. Hydraulic slew, hydraulic tilt, hydraulic driven, good elevator. For all it's quite old, it's a good elevator. We built that upper for it, as if we did, and that's a trailer upper that goes with it that we've never actually used. Just on it when it came. The length grader, it suffered a 4-foot battle scar there. It's broken that switch off. This vibrates. It's for carrots really. You feed it on at that end and feed down here. Short stuff drops through there, long stuff goes off the end. We use it for potatoes reasonably successfully. It wasn't perfect for potatoes, it's better for carrots. But again, surplus to requirements. Rest of stuff in this shed isn't for sale. This sale is on York Auction Site's website. It's live now. It starts ending on Tuesday. Single-sided pig feeder. It was in the shed we took down, and we were going to use it in a sick pen, but it's far too big for a sick pen really. 2 wash troughs. We've gone to nipple drinkers now, so we don't need the troughs anymore. A couple of David Brown weights. I honestly can't remember where we got them from. We've had them a very long time. PTO driven water pump. We've never actually used that. It came in a sale with something else, but we've never actually used it. I've no reason to believe it doesn't work, but we've never actually tested it. That 3-phase driven water pump, we use it for mucky water with the old Tatey washer. Somebody had a faux power with the forklift, lost it off the tines. The frame broke and it's finished up looking like it does there. The pump body is all still sound. The drive coupler is only plastic that broke. It does need another frame making for it, but it all still works. 5-inch lay flat pipe is 150 metres long, if I remember rightly. This frame here slides onto our bale spike, and you just secure it with that stud, and you wind it in by hand, which isn't ideal, but it's better than the alternative. Sludge pipes, again from old Tatey washer, so they've not been used for a few years. That we use just as a holding tank with a submersible pump in it. You can have the bottery brush for free. A pair of jumbo ridges just there. We use the frame, put some convex bodied ones on it, so they're surplus to requirements. We've had them from new actually, they're not that badly worn. They're in good order really. Standard planter ridger hood. We've now got a deeper one that's quite a bit longer. So that one's surplus to requirements. They're the brackets that go with it. The frame is cracked, but it'll well back up. It was cracked because the lighter frame was used on the bigger hood, and that was a very silly idea with hindsight. It's a straight crack, it only needs welding up, it'll be fine. 3 press arms, there's a Kverneland hydraulic release one, there's a manual Kverneland one, and there's I think it's a Lemken press arm, but it came off a Dow as well. There's 2 grain socks for the come off wagon tippers, but they go on a farm trailer. Floating headstock from a Jones topper. Floating because it does that. We kept it when we scrapped the topper for a project that'll never happen. DD light, 3 metre DD light, roller, weed out back of a shakerator. There is a scraper bar that goes with it when I find it. It's got a broken ring. There. The rings are about 60 quid a piece. You undo these 4 studs one by one. We'll take 2 out, put some threaded bar in, wind the pressure off gently, change the ring, use the same procedure in reverse to put it back together. People will tell you it's ridiculously dangerous. It's not. As long as you've got 2 threaded rods in it, it's fine. Pre-emerge marker frame. It's got the valve and the ram and everything off an Accord drill. Kevlar headstock. It's missing the horizontal bar that goes across there, and it's missing the cross shaft. But there's a lump of metal, really. Dryer fan. We got that to be a exhaust fan for our pedestals and changed our system, so not required anymore. Vodostat parts. Just surplus Vodostat parts. There's a drawbar, there's a following arrow, there's some wheel brackets, there's all sorts of bits and bobs on there. Pedestals, we've gone to an undergrain twin wall system, which works quite well for us, so the pedestals are surplus. Little Millmaster bucket, as long as that's loaded corn. Flexi coil and star cleaners. There's a couple of broken stars, as you can see, but it'll go straight on a 3 metre machine. Watkins front linkage. It's got a big ram with it. Centre ram goes to that pin there. Frame. I don't know what it's come off. I'm assuming it's probably John Deere by the colour of it. We bought it with something else, and we needed the something else, so that's surplus. Hey, Bella. That's the oil tank, oil pump and motor that came off the Jones topper. Hell, that's got some power. Bear in mind it's powered a potato topper. It has got some pokers. It's a big pump. It'll be expensive when you will that.